Hello friends, this video is about human skeletal system. So here we see in this diagram, this whole skeleton, human skeleton is here. First we have a preview of this skeleton. Suppose we have a skeleton in front of us. So first of all we need to decide which is the left side and which is the right side. So this will be the left side of the skeleton, this will be the right side. Now, if the skeleton is facing the thumb towards this side, then this side of the arms, this side towards the thumb, is known as the lateral side of this forearm, and this side will be known as the medial side. Same thing will apply to the lower limb also. For the arm, this is the arm, this part from here to here. This is the forearm from here to here. This is the wrist. So the outer side, if the thumb is facing this side, then the outer side is the lateral side and the inner side is the medial side. Same, this is the lateral side of the lower limb, this is the medial side of this lower limb. This is the medial side here. This is the medial side, this is the lateral side. This is how we start describing the anatomical position of a human skeleton. And there one more term, that is proximal and distal. What is proximal and distal? For example, we are talking about these bones of the palm. Then the bones which are away from the wrist will be known as distal, and those are towards the wrist are known as proximal. It is not that this fundamental applies only to the wrist. No, every part of the body, if we are talking in context to one particular part, then the another part which is away from this part will known as distal, and towards the body will be known as proximal. So we have learned two new terms, lateral, medial, proximal and distal. Then there is one more term, that is ventral. What is ventral? Anything towards the abdominal cavity is ventral, and dorsal is towards our back side. That is the dorsal. This will apply to our back and the front abdomen. Abdomen will be ventral and the back will be dorsal. This will also apply to any other part while describing the ventral and dorsal. Now, this upper part is known as the skull. The topmost part is known as cranium. Then the eye holes are known as orbits. Then this upper bone is known as maxilla. This lower bone, this part is known as mandible. Now we have vertebrae. These are the vertebrae, and the upper vertebrae are known as cervical vertebrae. Then the lower vertebrae, these are known as the thorax. Upper vertebrae, which are up to the rib cage, they are known as the thoracic vertebrae, and the lower one, they are known as the lumbar vertebrae. This bone is known as clavicle. Then the arm, this is the humerus bone. This humerus bone and this bone scapula, half of this we can see here, but the remaining is hidden behind. So the scapula bone and this humerus and clavicle, they all constitute the pectoral girdle. This is known as pectoral girdle. Here we have elbow joint, the humerus, and the lateral bone is known as radius, and the medial bone is known as ulna, radius and ulna. This radius and ulna, they constitute the forearm. This is the forearm. Upper part is the arm, as I told you. Now the wrist joint, it contains carpal bones. These are the carpal bones. They are 8 in number. Then there are metacarpals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 metacarpals. Then the phalanges. We'll discuss these things in just after this later part. Now, this is the hip bone. It is made up of 3 bones: ilium, ischium, and pubis. This bone is known as femur, and this constitutes the hip joint. So the hip bone and the femur, they constitute the pelvic girdle. There is one more bone known as sacrum, and below the sacrum it is also a fused bone, and there is coccyx. This coccyx, there are 4 bones fused to form the coccyx. Now we go to the knee joint. There is a bone known as patella, and then medial side there is a bone known as tibia, and the lateral bone is fibula. Then there are tarsals. These are the tarsals. Then there are metatarsals, and these are the phalanges. If we talk about the skull, total skull bones are 22. Skull bones are facial, which will form this part, facial bones. They are 14 in number, and cranial bones, they are 8 in number. We'll have a look at the skull first. This diagram shows the view of the skull as seen from above. This is the frontal bone, because this bone faces our face, just our face where it ends and forehead starts. There will be frontal bone. Then there is, this suture is known as coronal suture. Then this is sagittal suture. We are examining the skull from above. This is sagittal suture, and this is parietal bone. They are 2 in number. This is parietal bone, this 2 is parietal bone. Then there is occipital bone. This is 1 in number, and this is lambdoid suture. Why? Because it shapes like lambda. This is lambdoid suture. Now, there are 8 cranial bones: frontal, parietal, temporal, occipital, ethmoid, and sphenoid. In the top view, we can see the bones frontal, parietal, and occipital here. Remaining bones we'll see in the lateral view of skull. Here is the lateral view of skull. We can again see the frontal bone. As I told you, it is in the front. Just after face ends, this frontal bone starts. This is the parietal bone. Here you can see the temporal bone. Here it lies. They are 2 in number, 1 on one side and the other will be on the other side of the face. This is lambdoid suture. Here is the occipital bone. Now, we also learned about this ethmoid and sphenoid bones. Where we can see this ethmoid bone here. Small bone, little part we can see from here. And sphenoid bone is this. So, ethmoid and sphenoid also are little bit visible here. Then we talk about the facial bones. They are 14 in number. Inferior tabinals, there are 2, maxillar 2, malar bones, zygomatic 2, nasal 2, palatine 2, lacrimal 2, vomer 2, and mandible 1. Mandible, as I told you, we can see this is mandible, this is the mandible, this whole. But it is not possible to see all these bones in this view of the skull. We have to see the inside view of the skull, other sections, then only these bones will be visible. Coming to the cervical vertebrae, total cervical vertebrae are 7 in number. Out of them, first and second are atypical. Atypical means different from the typical cervical vertebra. While third to 7, they are typical cervical vertebra. Now let us see how a typical cervical vertebra is seen from above. How does it look like? See, this is the body. This is the body of the typical cervical vertebra. And these typical cervical vertebra, they are identified by this foramen transversarium. This is the identification of a typical cervical vertebra, and this is the spine. Now, first cervical vertebra is named as atlas. How does it look as seen from above? This is the diagram of atlas. Foramen transversarium, as this is essential for all cervical vertebrae, so it is present in this also. The typical process of atlas is the odontoid process. You can see this odontoid process here. Second cervical vertebra is axis. This is the diagram of the axis vertebra. This too will have this foramen transversarium. This is identified by this structure known as dens. So this is typical of second cervical vertebra, and odontoid process is typical of the first cervical vertebra. Now our human skeleton, how many bones we have in total is 206 bones in all. Forelimb bones are 60. How they are 60? Humerus 2 in number, radius 2, ulna 2, carpal 16, because 8 in one wrist and 8 in another wrist. Metacarpals are 10, obviously 5 plus 5. Phalanges 14 into 2, so 28. This all makes the number to be 60. Hind limbs bones, that is lower limb bones, they are 60 again. Femur 2, tibia 2, patella 2, fibula 2, tarsals 14, metatarsals 10, and phalanges 28. Pelvic girdle, as I told you, it is made up of one hip bone and femur, and hip bone is made up of ilium, ischium, and pubis. Coming to the diagrams of the pectoral girdle and the forearm, the upper limb as a whole. This is the lower limb as a whole. It starts obviously from the pelvic girdle and then going downwards. We can see a part of the clavicle or the collarbone here. Half of it is visible. This is scapula, humerus, ulna, radius. And this is the medial side of the forearm. This is the lateral side. How we decide? Because the thumb is pointing to this side, and this will be obviously the lateral side. Ulna is always the medial bone. We can see the 8 carpal bones very clearly here. Then there are the metacarpals. These long, they are metacarpals. Then the phalanges, 1, 2, and 3, they are the phalanges. Here we have the hip bone, the femur, the patella, the knee bone, tibia, fibula. Fibula is always, this side is lateral, the fibula is lateral, tibia is always a medial bone. Then there are tarsals and the metatarsals. These are the metatarsals. Then we have the phalanges. Looking to the diagram of the palm, we have the metacarpal bones. This is trapezoid, capitate, trapezium, scaphoid, lunate, triquetral, pisiform, and the hamate. These are the 8 metacarpal bones. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 metacarpals, and these are phalanges. These are phalanges. The sole, we have the calcaneus. This is the heel bone. The calcaneus. Then we have the talus, navicular. We have 3 cuneiforms, 1, 2, and 3. We have lateral cuneiform, intermediate cuneiform, and the medial cuneiform. The 3 cuneiforms. We have a cuboid and a navicular. First metatarsal is our greater toe. Greater toe bones is known as first metatarsal. Then the 5th metatarsal will be the little toe. Then we have the phalanges. As I told you, anything towards the body is known as proximal. So this is the proximal phalanx. and this is away from the body, so it is distal phalanx. Then we have a middle phalanx, the second metatarsal, the third metatarsal, and so on. This is all about the upper and lower limb bones. Thank you for watching the video.